I'm like really tan right now, but I'm really sneezy. No correlation. Hey guys, it's Sav and welcome back to Book It. Today we are going to be talking about like a series that is so long ago, but like, yeah, we're going to be talking about Midnight Sun. So this is a part of the Twilight series. So the Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn, The Short Life of Bree Tanner, which I don't think is out yet. I can't remember which. It's out. Yeah, it came out yesterday. And then Life and Death. And then there's also like the Twilight Saga, the official guide. We're not doing a video on that. But this is Midnight Sun, which was released, I want to say in 2020. So this humongous, first off, look how big this book is. Like, which, I mean, it was 817 pages. Reading this took me a minute. It's just very like, it's also hard to carry in like a purse because it's so big. But yeah, we're going to be discussing this today. So basically, this is Twilight, the first one, written entirely of the perspective of Edward. And to be honest, it's not what I thought it would be. So I've read a bunch of these like different POVs before. We saw it when we saw the 50 Shades of Grey and Grey, 50 Shades Darker, Freed and Freed. So I thought it would be something like that, where it's like the exact same conversations, the exact same emails over and over and over again. That really made me like angry because like I feel like it was like lazy writing in some spots, but this was like, I don't know. So I read this after I had finished the entire series, because I reread the whole series again. So then I was like, okay, let me read this. And I think that might have been my problem, because yes, things were exactly the same, and like I thought that more things would be different, but I liked that this was written from different like commentary and different like thoughts going on, because it's inside Edward's head. So usually we're used to like Bella and her like, oh, I hope he likes me, and we're in his side of his head that's like, oh, I hope she likes me. So that was pretty cool. We also got to saw like a different side of the Cullens with his POV, because the Cullen family, like the first Twilight book, they're mentioned, but they're not like really deep. We don't deep dive into them until later on in the series. So it was really interesting seeing like when Edward would come home and like Rosalie would be like standing on the front porch waiting for him, and the conversations that he would have with Rosalie and stuff. And basically all of his siblings, just like in their heads, since he can read all of their minds, they'd basically say something to him and he would respond to them like out loud. And I thought that was very interesting to basically go along with. And also like the ability to like see how Edward's gift works. So we know that he can read minds and stuff, and that's talked about a lot in the first book. And then like the second and third and fourth, obviously it helps like his ultimate goal, but we don't really see a lot of like his point of view on it. So the fact that we got to see like how his powers work and how he thinks of his powers and how he feels about himself is very interesting. I will say this, I liked this version of the POVs better than when E.L. James did the 50 Shades of Grey series. I know I just finished those series and I just made videos on them like this, definitely within this year. This past year, I don't know how long ago it was based on calendar, but I think that it was just something that this was a little more like, not the exact same conversations, but there were different emotions, different conversations that we didn't get to see. It was like a whole different side, which I really liked. I honestly liked going back into the Twilight world, because I don't know, I feel like the Twilight world was one of those things where it's like, it kind of took the entire nation by storm. Like everyone was team Jacob or team Edward, and if you weren't, you were a liar, or you were team Jasper, Emmett, or Carlisle. And I guess now the cool thing is to be team Charlie, because Charlie's a DILF. But like, it was something that like all of the moms were reading at a time, and when the movies came out, that was like a really big deal with them. So I think it was really cool to kind of see the entire like, it was kind of cool for Stephenie Meyer to bring us all back into it, which is something I feel like a lot of writers have been doing recently. Like what's her name, Suzanne Collins did another Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and brought back the Hunger Games world. She brought back the Twilight world. There was one more. I can't remember who it was. Someone else just released a book that kind of like brings back an old series as well. So I just feel like that's something that a lot of writers are doing, which is totally fine in my eyes. I like it. But yes, I very much liked this book a lot. I will say that I kind of want her to write another one, maybe like a book about Jasper and his upbringing, because I always found his story very interesting. Rosalie's is explained a lot more than Jasper's. So I think that Jasper deserves a book, or I think it'd be really cool to finally have a book about Alice, because Alice kind of just woke up as a vampire one day and no one really knows how she got there or anything. And I understand that's like a mystery, but I kind of want Stephanie Meyer to dive into that as well. Something else about this book that didn't change from the original series is that Bella is still cringy as hell. I think that this book really amps it up because she's not the main character and you can kind of see it from a different point of view and from the side, which I think makes her shine more in a negative light anyway. I've never been a big Bella stan anyway, so the fact that like we saw it from like his point of view. I've never been an Edward fan either. To be honest, I was Team Jacob the whole way. Technically I was Team Emmett, but between Jacob and Edward, I was Team Jacob. So like personally looking at it from this point of view, I was not a big fan of Bella, and I never have been, but she's just really cringy throughout this book because he like can't read her mind, and that's something, I mean, he's cringy too. They're both cringy, but I think that's just how they are as characters. Overall, I give this book a 4 out of 5. I actually really did like this book. It wasn't my favorite book by her. It was very long, as you can see, but I did like this book a lot, and I would definitely recommend it. If you liked the Twilight original series and stuff like that, definitely read this because I think it's great. I think by now most people that like Twilight have read this book just because it's been out for about 4 years now, but overall, I like it. Thank you, Stephanie Meyer, for bringing this book back and like bringing back the world. But yeah, that's all I have to say about this. 4 out of 5, very good. With that being said, make sure you follow my Goodreads in the link below because that'll show you like my whole thoughts on it and everything, and it'll also tell you like what books are coming up in the future. And then on top of that, please make sure you like and subscribe. It helps me out so much more than you can possibly think, and it's free and you can undo it at any time. But yes, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!